So today, guys, I checked out the new Toxic Avenger movie, and if you guys don't know what it's about, I go ahead and give you a quick rundown. It's basically Peter Dinklage raising his kid, or should I say stepson, because the mother is dead, and they make that quite apparent in the movie. And he is raising his kid, has a very shit job, and by some circumstances, without ruining too much, he ends up falling into some waste, some toxic waste, and he becomes a Toxic Avenger, goes through some evolution, one could say, and becomes the new superhero of this town that is run by, big corporations. He's an anti-hero for sure, and he goes around killing bad guys in pretty brutal ways. Now, that's basically what this movie is about. It's actually a remake from a movie made in the 70s that I have never seen, but I know it has like a cult following. I think it's safe to say that I didn't really meld well with the type of comedy and type of movie that it was. Now, I don't think it was a bad movie at all. I just think that it really wasn't for me. My few issues with the movie that I could just name right off the top of my head is one, I felt like none of the story moments in this movie were actually earned. They kind of just gracefully go to point A to point B, next plot point to next plot point, and I just couldn't find myself really attaching myself to the story. Now, I know the movie that it's based off of wasn't the best movie either, but I feel like if you're gonna go ahead and get actors like Peter Dinklage, Elijah Woods, that there would be a little bit more, not substance, one could say, just better writing in general, because kind of falls in the lines of being a slapstick comedy / like dark horror comedy sort of movie. And I know it's copying the older Toxic Avengers movie, but I just don't think it really melded well. From the story not being very cohesive and not having like a very intriguing plot, to the characters having these comedic moments that just don't really hit. There's like a handful of moments that I would say made me giggle, but for the most part, I feel like a lot of the jokes fall flat. And it just kind of came across a little bit B-rated, and I get that that's probably what they were going for, but you're probably dumping a couple $1 million in this movie. You can elevate it to an extent to where it's good and has a good story and the jokes hit and has very good writing without you basically disrespecting the source material of the Toxic Avenger 1 and Toxic Avenger 2. The actors in this movie are really good actors. You got Kevin Bacon, you have Elijah Woods and Peter Dinklage, and I felt like they all just did okay. They're all playing this over top, besides Peter Dinklage, I would say he's pretty serious for the most part, but they're all playing this over top character that I just felt like didn't hit. I just feel like all the things that they're shooting for in this movie is to pay homage to the original Toxic Avenger, and I just don't think it's for me at all. As for the special effects, I do think this is where this movie shines a lot. This movie has a lot of character to it. I like the set designs, very colorful. There's a lot of care that goes into this world. Another standout thing is the gore. A lot of it's practical, and the things that are practical actually look pretty good. But there is a few times that they do some pretty outrageous gore effects that they just do mostly CGI, and I think it's you could really tell that it's like CGI, and it just, I don't know, it just seemed over the top, but not in a cool way. It just kind of looked a little too B-rated for me. When I go to the movies, I go to watch a movie, yes, but when I do a review and I put it in my categories as this movie good or is this movie bad, a lot of the things that I personally think go into a good movie, this movie does not have. The overall movie as a whole was just something a little bit forgettable and something that I probably wouldn't watch again. Now, on the contrary, I'm pretty sure a lot of people would say that about Toxic Avenger 1 and 2. So if you guys enjoyed those kind of movies and this is something that you enjoyed watching back in the day, I think you're going to find a lot of things to like about this movie. I bet there's a lot of people out there that are part of the huge cult following that will react to it well. So I recommend that you guys go see it. That's my opinion on the movie. Let me know down in the comments what you guys thought of the movie, if you have seen it or if you've seen the originals and you're thinking about seeing this one. And be nice. I know this has a cult following. I'm not trying to get berated in the comments, berate me a little, but just be nice.